Hello, everybody. Welcome on into some baseball here on youtube.com/SeanOsaurusRex. I'm Sean, 5 nights a week streaming baseball here on the channel. Subscribe, ring the bell for more, all that good stuff. Give the video a thumbs up if you're having a good time. We're watching 4 games today. We have some playoff races. I think we have a wheel spin game, but we're going to keep watching that Diamondbacks Pirates series because it's fun. We're going to start in Florida. Padres taking on the Marlins. As we view today's games, we'll jump down to that screen. That way we can get this game loaded. Padres Marlins. Yes. Oh, thank God. I thought I put Tigers Blue Jays there for a second, but I did not. Looking at the wrong list. We'll head to Minnesota. Angels are taking on the Twins. The Angels and the Athletics have really closed the gap on the Mariners, who are on a 3-game losing streak. Then we'll take a look at the Phillies taking on the Cubs. Better matchup than you might think. And then we will wrap it up in Arizona. Diamondbacks taking on the Pirates. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for hanging out today. I appreciate it. Flip this chat thing to that. Perfect. And we should be good to go. Josh Johnson taking on Derek Holland. Welcome to Miami. We've actually played a game in this stadium. Someone requested it a year or two ago when we played in Old Miami. The Padres are 3 games under 500 at 26-29. The Florida Marlins are 12 games over 500 at 33-21. As we are set. Angel McCutcheon leads things off. He is the center fielder. Alcides Escobar is the designated hitter. The David Wright at third base, Justin Upton in right, Jared Saltalamacchia, the catcher, James Loney, is the first baseman. Bobby Abreu in left field, J.J. Hardy at the shortstop position, and Eric Young Jr. is at second base. Here's your starting pitcher. It's left-hander Derek Holland, 5-4 with a 3.68 ERA, 10 games, 29.1 innings pitched, 31 hits. That really disappeared on me. 31 hits, 10 walks, 24 strikeouts. That's a pretty good ratio. 41-24. I think 24-10, though, is kind of that number that you really like. Strikeouts to walks. So, we are set here to get ready. I'm trying to get this thing to... Gosh, just cooperate, please. Thank you. That is an aggressive swing against the lefty. It is 0-1. Marlins wearing black tops, white pants. All gray for the Padres. And we are underway. Shakes off the catcher. Readies, winds, and fires. It'll be hit out towards left field, but a nice routine play as the left fielder makes the grab. Forgot to put my phone on a charger. Not that that's super important at the moment. Escobar steps up. Batter number 2. Really don't love these uniforms for the Padres. They wore them for a really long time. I like the brown and yellow look a lot nicer. And I think what their City Connects that they might be retiring are some of the best in MLB. But we'll see what happens. I haven't seen any leaks or anything, but I'm also maybe not as tuned in as I think I am. Oh, not much. How are you doing? Here's the lefty. And he winds and fires that inside for a ball. We are inside of 1 month left in this regular season. Some of the playoff races are kind of interesting. It's a little unfortunate. The wild card is kind of separated. That is swung on and missed. The AL got a little bit tighter with the Orioles or not the Orioles, the Guardians and the Royals playing each other. But there's still a little bit of a gap in the National League. That is way inside for a ball. Hopefully some of those races heat up a little bit. Royals play the Blue Jays again starting... Let's see. Was it Tuesday in game maybe? Winds and fires that one high for a ball, so he'll issue a walk. Pretty quick first out. I believe it was out on pitch number 2. The fly out to left, but... San Diego works with a nice patient at-bat and puts a runner on. David Wright steps up. Just a touch under 300 the batting average. 5 home runs, 18 RBI. That is foul. As it comes back into frame. Foul ball. Foul ball. There you go. That's a good way to say it. Let's get 2 here. Don't say things like, look out for DP or whatever. Runner will advance. The lead runner will advance to third. Runners on the corners. Padres never won a World Series. Marlins in 97 and 2003. Thank you. Justin Upton, 3 stolen bases, 7 home runs on the year. Opportunity for an early RBI in this one. And would benefit the Philadelphia Phillies, who we will see playing a little bit later. That is high for a ball. Phillies are taking on the Cubs. The Cubs kind of in contention in that NL Central. Actually, we have a couple of games that kind of like knock into each other a little bit. So we have the Marlins. They're in the NL East. That is hit into left field. That should just go station to station. That's what they'll do. Not deep enough into left to try and push their luck. So we have the Marlins here. They lead the Phillies by a couple of games, who play the Cubs, who are trailing the Pirates by a couple games. And then we have a couple NL West teams trying to jostle for position, hoping for a little bit of help elsewhere to try and bring those Colorado Rockies back to them. Or some of these wild card teams, which I believe would be Philadelphia at the moment, bring the Phillies back and make those races a little more interesting as far as that lone spot in the wild card. As a person who's commentating and broadcasting it, you really appreciate the extra wild card spot that they put in there because more teams are actively going for it. But just the one wild card right now. And then it went to the 1-game wild card for a little bit. And now it's the 3-game wild card set on a weekday, which is not great. 1-0 here in the top of the first. Just 1 out, but the double play is still in order. I don't think it's going to come in handy this time. No, it'll be an out to right field. The runner will tag at second and advance to third. Safe. Not quite as no doubt as I thought it would be, but it's still safe, and they advance the runner. So back to runners on the corners. Marlins looking to get out of a jam. They just need 1 more out. San Diego, a good opportunity to put another run on the board. James Loney steps up. I thought about it. No appeal. That ball low. 1-0. The lefty is ready. Winds and fires the pitch. It goes high that time. Started south, worked north. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. It is high again to Upton. Three-ando, hands-off controller. Was a 3-0 absolute smash yesterday. That one will get into right field, so a 3-0 swing. Nice and aggressive there by the batter. It produces a run, puts another runner in scoring position. RBI single. 2-0 here for the Padres, doing their best to help themselves out. A direct head-to-head matchup with a team in front of them. Though I think they're under 500. They need a lot more help than I'm giving them credit for. Hang on a second. Yeah, they're 26 and 29. The Marlins are about 6 games ahead of them. So maybe not the best time for this matchup, but it's, hey, a win's a win. Give yourself a chance. That is outside for a ball. Have we watched the Rockies lately? We did. They won on a walk-off against the Nationals. So if we pull up that thumbnail, we can grab at least one. It's the fourth game, Sean. That one. 30-24, so they're at least 31-24. Maybe another win. So they would have to do, the Padres have to do a lot of damage to try and get back into this. Diamondbacks might have a little bit more of a shot at the NL West. 2-2 with 2 out and 2 out here, and a 2-0 game in the first. Gets the swing and the miss. That will retire the side. Padres get out to an early 2-0 lead. And we can tell that it's going to be a right-handed pitcher for San Diego because of the Florida Marlins lineup. Muhammad Haney will lead off. He is the center fielder. Todd Helton in the DH spot. He is a lefty. If they don't have a righty, if they have a left-handed pitcher up, he slides down to the 5 spot-ish. Alex Rodriguez is the third baseman. He will be in the 3-hole. Pat Burrell in left. Garrett Jones in right. Paul Konerko at first. Orlando Cabrera is the shortstop. Jesus Flores is behind the dish, and Danny Espinoza at second base. Josh Johnson, 2-8 with a 7.18 ERA, 11 games, 26.1 innings pitched, 38-6-25. It's a very high ERA for a guy who has like that many strikeouts. It's not the greatest ratio in the world. No, 42. 44. 44-25, not terrible. Yes, I know LeBron James. He's going to wave off the first pitch called by his catcher, the wind, and he's going to get the call on the inside. Don't think that was a strike. That looked inside to me, but Muhammad's going to have to shake that pitch off. He'll try that inside again. Doesn't give him the call at the letters. It's kind of like right there. Here comes the 1-1. That is flared up the first baseline. Foul. 1-2. Another shakeoff from the pitcher. That is outside for a ball. Two and two the count. And he gets the swing and the miss. So Muhammad Haney sat down on strikes. And that'll be out number 1. Todd Helton. This has been the problem for the Florida Marlins. Every time we watch them, it feels like they just cannot get off to a good start. Alex Rodriguez has an incredible batting average. And the first 2 batters in the lineup, no matter who it is, cannot get on. And even there have been times where leadoff batter's gotten on. It's a 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 single. It's a walk, whatever. And then here comes the second batter, in this case Helton. Not always him, but you get it. And he rolls into a double play. Okay, and that's exactly what he would have done if the previous batter had gotten on. He didn't. But it is quickly 2 away, and it brings up Alex Rodriguez, who is batting .375. You figure those RBI numbers should be higher with a batting average like that, but then you look at the 2 guys in front of him and you go, what's he supposed to do? So the righty winds and fires. It's foul up the first base line. I do love a cheery clap. Broken bat, foul ball. I do like that the bat breaks and they just like grab it like nothing happened. I'm ready, coach. That is low for a ball. 1-2 is fouled away. A-Rod looking to try and keep this inning going. The right swing, he can send this, or he can cut this lead in half. Oh boy, that is a generous call. That seemed very low. Hardy, Young Jr., and McCutchen. I'll take a look at it here on the replay. I mean, it definitely drifted over the plate, but I thought it was low. Like, it was at the knees at best, but yeesh, I don't think you like that call in that situation. We will head to the top of the second as A-Rod strikes out, or after A-Rod strikes out. And that'll be outside. One and 0 is the count. Here comes the pitch from the lefty. And it is low for a ball. 2-0. And that's low for a ball. 3-0. Gotta find the strike zone a little more consistently. Interestingly enough, San Diego put up a pitcher that had a pretty high ERA, and they were still able to get through that inning with relative ease. Williams winds and fires. It's fouled away. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is fouled away again. Here comes the lefty in the 3-2. It is outside. So, that is another walk. Jabron Lames, am I right? How's it going there? A walk-off. Eric Young Jr. averaging .250. No home runs, 2 RBI, and no stolen bases. That is hit. First baseman can't come up with it. Can he get to first in time? No. Doesn't even throw it to the... Looks like the second baseman covering, so a bit of a disaster for the Marlins. The pitcher looked like he was really late covering that play. He just really didn't have anywhere to go with it. The double play got eliminated pretty immediately, but you'd like to see the first baseman at least try to get it to whoever's covering. But it'll be 2 on and nobody out. As Andrew McCutchen is up and swinging. Here's the wind and the pitch. Low for a ball. This will be the first time in 21 years that LeBron James wasn't voted into the All-Star starter list. Wow. Huh. Who did he get beat by? LeBron. Or not LeBron. LeBron beat LeBron. Luka? No. They're going to send him around third and second. Throw in, not terrible, but the cutoff kind of ruined the flow there. It'll be 3-0 San Diego, and they'll put runners on the corners yet again. Another player could always give up his spot, though, and let him start. But he wasn't voted there. I mean, if you get voted to be an all-star, you should be proud of it. Like, it's an accomplishment. You don't have to give it up to a dude just because he's been there for 23 years. And it's not like it's his guaranteed last season. I could understand if it was his, like, I'm retiring after this season. They'll check on the runner at first, safe. So what, SGA? Jokic. It's in for a strike. Giannis? Giannis still pulling votes for All-Star? I'd have to imagine he would. Yes, you did say that. And then when I asked the question, you said, I know. And I was like, well, if you knew the answer, why did you ask? One and one. Runners on the quarters. And that is hit out towards right field. They're going to have an opportunity for a sacrifice fly. The catch is made. The runner hits third base and slides into home safely. There is no relay throw. David Wright 1 for 1 with a single and a run. These San Diego bats coming alive. Giannis is balling out this year? Okay. That's fair. Unfortunately, I have such a loose view on the NBA. Nice guard there by the catcher. All I've heard about Giannis is that is he going to be traded? That's all. That is hit out towards right. And, it's going to get over his head. The runner stopped between first and second. They're going to push him to third as the batter heads all the way to second. They will get into the bullpen already. They'll bring in the lefty, Pedro Feliciano. 13 games, 3-0 record, 3 saves, under 1 ERA, 9.2 innings pitched, 2 walks, 12 strikeouts. It's a really nice .93 ERA. So, that works out well because we learned that the other day that the Florida Marlins started in 1993. Or was that, did we learn that about the Rockies? No, it was the Marlins. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. The double puts 2 runners in scoring position. He's going to get the strike. The low part of the zone. Those knees have been a funky spot. Did they go back to... Is the All-Star, the NBA All-Star game, did they go back to East versus West? Because they did the, coaches things for a while, and that was kind of... That was a thing that it was a decision that they made. Because I guess it would make more sense if... I mean, who would... That'll be rolled to the third baseman, steps up, and in time by about a step to get the out. Let's see. San Diego picks up a couple more runs. It's 4-0. Burrell, Jones, and Konerko. Let's see. NBA All-Star 2026. 10 starters announced. New look All-Star game. Okay, here we go. This is Cameron Salerno. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. I know you're watching. From CBS Sports. Okay, so it looks like it is Western Conference and Eastern Conference. So it's Luka, Steph, SGA, Nikola Jokic, Wembanyama. Okay. That makes sense. I think they're actually going to be USA versus the world this year. Giannis and Jokic and SGA about to cook the USA. Yeah. And then looks like, what? Eastern... Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Jaylen Brown, and Giannis. Okay. I guess that kind of makes sense. The only one I think would be surprising would maybe be Steph Curry, but if he's playing well, then it's not surprising. But The other four make sense, and I think we're going to see that lineup a lot as far as like Wemby, Jokic, SGA, as long as they're healthy. So it's a full count. Here comes a payoff pitch. It is inside for a ball. So the Marlins get off to a good start here. They work a walk. And it'll be up to Garrett Jones. Keep things going in a positive way. 22 RBI, just 5 home runs. So he's doing a nice job getting RBIs without putting the ball out of the yard. Here's the righty's pitch. It's inside for a strike. I am surprised by that call. But this zone's looked like it's been a little big throughout the early parts of this first game. 4-0 San Diego if you're just joining us. That is. Thought about it but didn't. Cade Cunningham and what he's done with the Pistons this year compared to last year. Give that man the MVP already? Oh, absolutely. I think I was doing a stream where I was learning about how good the Pistons were. That is a swing and a miss for a strike. No, I have not watched that. They still top seed in the East. By the way, 10-0 halftime, Indiana over Florida. Or Miami, excuse me. Standings, yeah, they're up there. 4.5 games ahead of the Celtics, who are number 2. Wow. Without, what's his face? Oh, I can picture it. Jason Tatum, that's the name. I could see the NBA cover. I was like, Oklahoma City still doing well. But they keep losing to the Spurs. Oh, they finally beat the Spurs. Good for them. Wemby play in that game. Swung on and missed. So that's not really what you're looking for after the walk. Pistons only had 14 wins last year. They have 14 wins in 17 games this year. That's awesome. Good for them. I love when a guy has a breakout season. When you feel like you can see it, that is a home run, by the way. That is going all the way into the stands. It is now 4-2. Just barely got out. I don't think I'd want to play in this stadium regularly, as that wall would cause a lot of problems. But it does just get out, and it is 4-2 now with one gone. I especially like when you can see like talent in a player and you're like, if they could just put it together, if it clicks, you watch them go off. Hell yeah. Well, good for him. Here's the wind and the pitch. That's a strike. I call it on that inside edge. That is inside for a ball. So again, that inside, the edges of the zone a little funky. One of them called a strike, the other one called a ball. They didn't look that much different as far as like where they were east-west wise. It's a nice catch by the second baseman. Should be 2 gone here for the Marlins. They've at least cut the lead in half. That's kind of what you're looking for after an inning like that. Just strike back, get a run, get 2. Doesn't necessarily have to be via the home run, but just try to get something going. Tatum tore his ACL. There's some other leader, important part of the. Was he an Achilles as well? I know you're saying ACL. Maybe I'm thinking of Halliburton for the Pacers. There were a couple of really brutal injuries that like completely changed the complexion of a series. He's been out all year, but expected to return soon. Wild. I think I heard that. One of the guys I listened to is a big Celtics guy, and he was talking about how Tatum could return. There were a couple of... God, that Game 7 for the Pacers. That was... That was brutal. That is swung on and missed. It really shows the difference because the Pacers made it all the way to the finals against Oklahoma City. And the Pacers this year, without Tyrese Halliburton, have amassed 10 wins, as I was just looking at it. And the Celtics are number 2, and they are missing their star guy. Wild. Now, hopefully it makes for a fun NBA playoffs. Here's the lefty. Winds and pitches, gets that outside corner for the strike. See if the Marlins pitching staff can get them through a clean inning. This is the guy to do it. They bring him in. He has an under 1 ERA at .93. That is a swing and a miss. Strike 2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It is hit to the third baseman, makes a spin move, and fires to first in time for the out. So 1 gone for the Padres. Bobby Abreu's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Jokic is the GOAT, though. Best basketball player to ever live. Is the Ohtani of basketball? Shout out to Jokic. Misses for a ball. I feel like that Nuggets championship they won doesn't get the respect it deserves. Here comes the 1-0. In for a strike. I think I saw a video of Jokic eating Taco Bell for the first time the other day. That was kind of fun. The 1-1 on the way. That is rolled. Ooh, it's going to stay fair. So Marlins get 2 nice, relatively easy outs. And a good opportunity for them to put a goose egg on the board for the Padres. J.J. Hardy, a walk. He came around to score. Batting .333 this season. A couple of home runs. That misses low for a ball. He just wants to race his horses. Basketball isn't even his greatest love. That's in for a strike. With the right kind of charming guy, that's really endearing. That is way outside. Two and 1. 2 gone here. San Diego leads 4-2 in the top half of the third. That is a strike on the high inside quarter. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It is rolled right back to the pitcher, makes the fielding play, and fires to first in time. So Padres score 2 in the first, 2 in the second, but 0 in the third. We'll see if Florida can take advantage of it. It's Espinoza, Haney, and Helton coming up. A-Rod would be the 4th hitter if they can get to that point. 2 runs on just the 1 hit for the Marlins, really taking advantage of the walk that they were issued. And he gets the strike at the knees, 0-1. And another strike on the outside edge, 0-2. Winds and the pitch gets the strike on Espinoza. You gotta take the bat off your shoulder. That is right on the edge. You cannot leave your at-bat in the hands of the umpire. It's a really nice location on an edge that's They've been a little wide at times today. It's just, in that situation, you gotta go. Yes, that show has existed for literally my entire life. I'm actually surprised it still exists, if it does. That is swung on and missed. Oh, it's a different host. Interesting. When do they switch to him? That'll be rolled over to the second baseman. Scoops and fires to first in time for the out. So Florida down to their final. Oh, I see. November 26th, 1989 to present. That is... I don't like that related is videos after dark. That is... that is horrifying. No thank you. I mean, we'll learn about it. That's hit. I hit the wrong thing. A special first look episode of a series with 12 more episodes taped, high for a ball, planned to be broadcast later in the year, but as of July 2024, the series premiere remains the only airing. Spin-off, first since I put it. Oh, God. Series, the videos after dark would have featured video clips from Dibana's quote vast video vault that are more appropriate for an older audience. All of that sounds awful. That is your ball game. 4-2 is your final. Runs came in groups of two. 2 in the top of the first, 2 in the top of the second for the San Diego Padres, who built a 4-0 lead. Marlins did a good job to strike back and cut the lead in half, but they not only did they do a good job to strike back, slice that lead in half, but they did the following thing, which some teams really struggle with. As we take a look at David Wright, 2 for 2, a double and a single. He is your player of the game. Josh Johnson goes to 3-8. Derek Holland falls to 5-5. Konerko's 8th home run of the year. Not only because they cut that lead in half, right? But then in the following half inning, they're able to throw the goose egg up on the board. That's not always a certainty. Sometimes you see them cut the lead in half. You cut into it a little bit, and then they give up 3-4 more runs. They're right back to where they started. But 4-2, and the Marlins fall. So an opportunity for the Phillies, who we'll see here in a little bit, to gain some ground. For right now, we will head to the Angels and the Twins. Angels with an opportunity to match the Mariners' win total with 28, and hope that the Yankees take care of the Mariners a little bit later on tonight. We won't watch that game after yesterday's annoyance, but we will obviously catch up on the scores, which I forgot to do right now. While the game's loading, be sure to hit that like button. Thank you if you have already. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Learning about videos after dark, which sounds incredibly 90s, if I'm being totally honest with you. Videos after dark. You won't want to keep the kids up with these. Minnesota Twins are 24-31. The Los Angeles Angels are 27-27. Okay. We can tell people less information. Like, we're on the internet and people can see it, and we don't need to tell everybody everything. I'm just going to throw that out there. Cameron Maybin is in center field. Casey McGee is at third base. Adrian Gonzalez at first. Jim Tomei at designated hitter. Ryan Ludwig in left field. John Buck at catcher. Ben Zobrist in right. Felipe Lopez at shortstop. Ryan Roberts at second base. Whew, we did it. Felix Hernandez, our guy. Our king. Crown him. 3-5 with a 5.93 ERA. 11 games, 30.1 innings pitched. 35, 15, and 38. Those are genuinely good numbers. I know I'm a Felix Hernandez fan. I'm a Mariners guy. I get that. Okay, I have love for the king. How's LeBron do it? Oh, he does it like this. It's because the fingers. I can visualize it a little bit more. Bam. We have love for King Felix. Those are kind of some numbers you would want. 50 hits and walks combined, and he's still pumping a ton of strikeouts up there. That's good stuff. King Felix winds and fires. He throws it low for a ball. Felix Hernandez, I don't believe, finished. He did not finish his career as a Seattle Mariner, I don't think. He might have signed a one-day contract and retired as a Mariner, but he did bounce around to a couple of teams, but I don't think he ever pitched for anyone other than the Mariners. That is a strike at the letters. We can look it up. We can cleanse our brains of videos after dark. I've already looked at his Wikipedia page at some point. Oh, you know what we did? Like, his last MLB appearance was September 26, 2019. I believe he sat out in 2020. That's rolled over. First baseman can't get a hold of it. Is King Felix there? No, he's not. It's safe at first. Seattle, and then he went to Baltimore. I know that. Atlanta in 2020, Baltimore in 2021. He pitched during spring training, but suffered an elbow injury in mid-March. On March 29th, opted out of his contract with the Orioles and became a free agent. So, he had a really, we've talked about it, like Hall of Fame wise. His peak was really, really high. That's foul. Was it long enough? Maybe that was in regards to Lincecum. Maybe they are similar, kind of, sort of. Like, obviously Lincecum won World Series. I get that. There's like a couple of guys who were like, hey, they are at the top of their game, at the uppermost echelon of their game for a very short amount of time, but damn was it good when it was good. Felix can't really find the zone here. Misses that one. Two and two. The wind and the pitch that is crushed out to left field. My fielder has a beat on it, and it is gone. 2-run home run, Adrian Gonzalez. Batting .313. This would have been the era where Felix Hernandez was at the peak of his powers. On some of the most disgusting Mariners offenses or baseball offenses you have probably ever seen. Talk about it, frequently of like, hey, Felix Hernandez pitched 8 innings of 3-hit, 1-run ball, and the Mariners lose 1-0. Like, oh my God. Here is the wind and the pitch from Hernandez. Fouled up the third baseline. Two 2-0 Los Angeles. 1 gone. That is hit to the first baseman. He'll go to the bag and step on it. I'm going to check on the bead real quick because there's a lot of coughing out there. Hang on. There. We're good. Everybody's good. It's been a household of sickness over the last couple of weeks. We don't need more sickness. We've gotten through all of it. We don't need more of it. Oh God. Put my headphones precariously on 4 different stacks of cards. Slip sliding around. 0-2 with 2 gone. Hernandez winds and fires. That one misses inside. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That is rolled foul up the first base line. Here comes the 1-2. Misses low. 2-2. Here comes the 2-2, foul away. So Felix Hernandez, by the way, probably should have been out number 1 at first base, but instead he was safe. So I don't know if they'll qualify that as like strictly an error, but that is rolled up the first base line foul. But the inability to pick up that first out that kind of rolled up the first base line does come back to haunt him almost immediately with the 2-run blast instead of what could have been just a solo shot. Now having a lot of trouble getting the third out here. Full count. Payoff pitch upcoming. And he will walk him. So Angels batter does a nice job fouling off a bunch of pitches, staying alive. I don't love that he tried to keep going outside there. Missed a location a couple of times there. Those last 2 pitches went from 2-2 to 3-2 to 4-2. I just couldn't find the edge. He's going to stay on the outside part of the plate against the right-handed hitter and fall behind 1-0. Here comes the pitch. He'll get the strike at the knee. At the letters. That is fouled away. So we try to check in on the score. Ooh, 10-7. Really don't want Miami to win. I'd prefer to see Indiana win. Here's the hit out towards left field. That'll be out number 3. Angels get off to a good start with a 2-run blast in the top of the first on just 1 hit. They will charge Minnesota with an error. We'll get you introduced to the Minnesota lineup here in just a moment. Dexter Fowler is the center fielder, switch hitting center fielder. Yunel Escobar is the shortstop. Kendry Morales at first base. Marcus Thames is in left field. Lance Berkman in right. Chase Utley at second. Yadier Molina is the catcher. Melvin Moore at third. Roger Bernardina is the designated hitter. And that is your Minnesota Twins lineup here for June 5th, 2011. Kevin Slowey, 4-6 with a 3.46 ERA. 10 games, 26 innings pitched, 36-10. Don't love that ratio quite as much. 36 walks and hits to just 10 strikeouts. Well, maybe he'll be more effective than Felix was in his first inning. I think you'd like that ERA a lot more, though. So I think that's kind of the balancing act. So the Minnesota Twins, already charged with an error and down 2, get called a funky strike on the inside corner. Zone is a little weird today. 0-1. Here's the wind and the pitch. He's going to go for the bunt, puts it down the speed, up the first base line, not in time. It's actually kind of a nice play there. He went a little too straight back to the pitcher. He would drive that up the third base line a little bit. I'm kind of surprised because it felt like a couple extra steps and then a hold as he turned, as this game has just no fluidity to it at all. I like the idea behind the bunt, but not super well executed. It's out number 1. And he'll get the strike on the outside edge. Thought about swinging, able to hold it back, no appeal down. And also none of it mattered because it was a strike. 0-1. That is inside for a ball. Righty winds and fires. That'll be hit into right field. Second baseman dives at it even though it was well past him. So the Twins will pick up their first hit of the day. Help try to balance out that error that they picked up in the first inning. That is high for a ball. Maybe a little surprising on the call, with just how funky some of the other parts of the zone have been. That top zone's been, like, inconsistent, but like the inverse. More balls than strikes. Ooh, he wants that pitch back. Nice job. He pulled the string on it just a little bit. Gets an aggressive swing and maybe gets away with a bit of a location there. It's a 1-1. Here's the wind. And the pitch is hit. Slapped down towards left field. I don't know why he dove at that. That is going to plate a run. My goodness. It's only going to be a double. I have no idea why he dove at that pitch. My goodness. It wasn't even close. 24 RBI, by the way, for Marcus Thames. Timms, maybe, I think. I mean, it's not close. Look at where the ball hits. And look at where he is. Ball hits there. You can see the gap. And then you could just kind of see. None of it was a good plan. It's a bad route at the ball. He's got to flatten this route out a little bit as he's coming in. And the dive just makes it so much worse. It probably would have been just a single that maybe advanced the runner to third. Instead, it's a run-scoring double. Now it's 2-1, and just like that, it is 2-2. So Minnesota strikes back immediately. That will be a sliding double, but it'll be an RBI double. Lance Berkman is a 5-time All-Star with Houston. He's batting .233. That is a strike. Definitely leaked over the plate in a way I'm sure he didn't want it to. Here comes the 0-1. It's inside for a ball. Here comes the 1-1. That stays outside for a ball. Two one gets the outside edge for a strike. Here comes the 2-2. A big swing and a miss. He is going to be bummed when he goes back and looks at that one. That pitch was low kind of the whole way. Look at the swing track, just so outside. Four seam at 89 early on the time. And I'll be honest, just kind of a bad swing regardless. Obviously the location's pretty bad, but it just felt like he was kind of backwards, out of sorts the whole way. Some takes you probably want to swing at, and some swings you probably want takes at. Two gone. Minnesota looking to take the lead here with a runner in scoring position. It is a strike. The 0-1 is on the way, and it is low for a ball. 1-1. One and one with 2 outs. Gets the strike at the knees. 1-2. Righty winds and fires that one outside for a ball. Two. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Minnesota picks up 3 hits but scores just 2 runs. Ben Zobrist will lead things off in the top of the second for the 7, 8, 9 hitters. Felipe Lopez and Roberts. I forget his first name. Ben Zobrist, though. Did I say go Mariners for Ben Zobrist? I said go Mariners for somebody, but I don't remember who it was. Pretty sure he played for the Mariners at some point. We'll check it out. Ooh, way wrong. Rays, Athletics, Royals, Cubs. Yeah, I wonder who I'm thinking of then. I could have sworn he was. He was the World Series MVP? Wow. Congratulations to Ben Zobrist. Three and one, so King Felix not able to really find the location here. Needs to get in the strike zone more consistently. That is slashed foul. That one slapped foul as well. Back-to-back swings, back-to-back foul balls. Okay, my nose apparently is going to be driving me nuts here. Hold on. That is hit right back up the middle. And that'll be into center field for a single. So I guess maybe not the worst thing in the world. Kind of struggled to get back into that at bat. I mean, if he's going to get to first and it's going to be a hit, let it just be a single. Doesn't need to be another home run against this Angels team. Doesn't need to be anything more than 90 feet. Here's the wind and the pitch. Doesn't get the call in spots on the zone where it feels like it's been a little wonkier. But at the same time, has Hernandez been earning those calls? Probably not. I'll check on the runner at first. Almost overthrows the first baseman. He's back safely, as they always are. And that is not an exaggeration. 99.9% of the time the pitch outs are, or the throwovers or pickoffs is what I was trying to say there. Pickoffs are, unsuccessful. They'll go out to talk to King Felix. He's kind of shaking his arm. Do they need to check? Did Felix Hernandez just get injured on a pickoff move? He's shaking his arm in a way that we have not seen in an animation this season. And they will indeed go to the bullpen. Lance Cormier, 21 games, 3-2 with a 3-2 record with 2 saves, 5.64 ERA, 22.1 innings pitched, 12 walks, 12 strikeouts. Huh. He injured on a throw-off? Injured on a pickoff. Oops, missed the O. June 5. What are we sitting at? 59-ish. That is up the first baseline foul. Weird. It is weird because the injuries so often feel like a dice roll.
That ball is foul.
Here comes the 1-2. It is sliced foul. Maybe this helps the Twins. They just kind of find somebody who can get into the strike zone a little bit more consistently. It's obviously not a shot at Felix Hernandez, who I love dearly. But he also hasn't been throwing the ball particularly well today. Never want to see a guy get injured. I wonder if we can get like an injury report on that. Two and two. That is smashed foul.
That's a foul ball.
Foul ball. Here comes the 2-2. It is hit to the third baseman, over to second, around the horn to first, in time for the double play. That erases the hit that Felix gave up, so he is off the hook, and no decision coming his way. As he will not be responsible for any of the runners or any of the runs that score. Ryan Roberts, 283 average. That is outside for a ball. Two-two game with two out here in the top of the second. That is foul. That's in for a strike. That zone feels like it widens just a little bit. Here comes the 1-2. Swung on and hit weakly to the shortstop. He'll pick it up and fire to first in time for out number 3. That will do it for the top of the second. Score stays 2-2. We will head to the home half. Red Hats. St. Louis, Arizona, and Washington coming up to bat. Yadier Molina, 16 RBI with 3 home runs. He's batting .351. Twins had a good opportunity to take a lead in the bottom of the first with a runner on second. They also had an opportunity to maybe get the lead if they had just been able to get out number 1 correctly against the Angels in the top half of the first. You leave the home run in there, it's just a solo shot rather than a 2-run home run. But Minnesota did strike back nicely in the bottom of the first, picking up the 2 runs they gave up immediately. That is a strike I don't know that I really agree with, but that's what they're going to call it. 1-1 to Molina. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is, oh boy, on the outside. I'll give it the strike call, and it's 1-2. Molina takes a swing at that, drives it up the third baseline. It's foul. Righty winds and fires. That one's drilled into right field all the way to the 328 marker. He'll hit first to make the turn to second. Throw is in. It is strong, and it's just a little offline. That throw's just a touch more inside. That's probably an out on an aggressive base running there. It was a strong throw from the corner. Not a ton of speed. But it puts the lead, or the go-ahead run at second. Here's the wind. That pitch inside for a ball. A little surprised. Well, I guess it wasn't that bad. The hit-by-pitches are so inconsistent in this game. Honestly, the hit-by-pitches might be the most inconsistent aspect of this game. Swung on and missed. Nice job pulling the string there. Showed him some heat on the first pitch, and then... Boink. 1-1. That is hit well out towards left center. The left fielder dives again. They're not going to be able to send the runner home because he had a shot at making the catch. 2 in scoring position. The Minnesota Twins now have 4 doubles in the game. A dive, and that runner is just not fast. He is. We've seen 3 dives maybe by this Angels team where you're just like, why are you doing that? You're not going to get the ball. Still nobody out. It does hold the runner, so I guess that's the positive. The effort that he makes to try to get to the ball makes the runner have to stand there and wait. There it is. My goodness. I could feel it, and I was like, please don't. If she's coughing and I'm not sneezing, like, we can't have sickness. We can't have sickness here, people. That pitch misses low. So it's 2-1. Runners on second and third. No outs. And that pitch gets the outside corner for a strike. Here comes the 2-2. It is going to be hit out towards left field. This is going to be interesting. If they send that runner who's not very fast, the left fielder might have a shot at it. He's almost there. The relay throw. Hey, get him. He's out. It's a double play at the plate. What a collision of this game being the worst. So the relay throw slows everything down for the defense. The slide slows everything down for the offense as that pitch is swung on and missed. And it was a perfect collision of both of those issues in this game at once. Wow. Minnesota gets aggressive. It's going to bite them doubly because they are not going to score anything. Now, there's a possibility that let's say they hold him at third, it's just 1 out, right? There's still the possibility that they send that runner home and it's a collision at the plate. I don't think you would because he just doesn't have enough speed. But the Minnesota Twins have had opportunities and they have not been able to cash in. That is brutal for them. So it'll say 2-2 as we go to the top of the third. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. That is a ball. Here comes the 1-1. That is off the fists. Is still into center field. I believe it's Dexter Fowler out there in center field. Makes the catch. And that is out number 1. Is indeed Dexter Fowler. Center fielders we get a pretty good beat on just because they usually lead off. And because I point out that they lead off, and it's a little easier to remember that they are in center field and lead off. Doesn't get the outside edge that he wants, and it's 1-0. Ready, winds, and fires. Swung on and missed. 1-1. Here comes the 1-1. It is hit out towards the left center field. Nobody's diving at that because no one's going to come anywhere near it. It is going to be a stand-up double. The Angels have the winning, or the go-ahead run, on second base. Depending on the results of the Mariners game and the Athletics game a little bit later, we could see a shift in the lead in the American League West. Obviously, the result of this game is, that depends. That has something to do with it as well. So 2-0. That is hit. Diving second baseman's not going to come up with it. Fowler will lackadaisically throw it back in. It does hold the runner at first. Sets up the double play. Los Angeles will take a 3-0 lead here in the top half of the third. Or 3-2. Did I say 3-0? 3-2. I apologize. Jim Thome stepping up. Here's the righty's pitch. It is in for a strike. And how devastating is the run that they could not come up with on third base, or the run that they couldn't come up with on second base in the first inning, or even the run that they couldn't come up with on second base in the second inning with 2 outs. Opportunities missed here for the Minnesota Twins. We are heading to Chicago after this. That is swung on and missed. Cubs taking on the Phillies. Ryan Ludwig has worked a walk in today's game, only batting .179. Ooh, that is a dive and a miss by the shortstop. It'll roll into center field. The runner will advance all the way to third, and there'll be runners on the corners with 2 outs. These are some of those devastating defensive innings that the game just feels like it gives to certain teams when they can't come up with double plays, that the game never gives them a chance to try and turn. It's a whole mess, this game. That is in for a strike. Indiana up by 10 is nearing the end of the third quarter of the college football playoff, or the college football championship. Here comes the wind and the pitch. That is going to be hit out towards center field. Should be a routine play, and it is. That'll be out number 3. LA scores 1. They're able to take the lead. 5 hits for each side. The error currently kind of the difference in this one, actually. Actually, genuinely the difference. Because they weren't able to get that first out, and because it was an error charged to Minnesota. Instead of a solo home run, it was a 1-run home run. We'll see what the Twins can do here in the home half of the third. A swing on a pitch Outside is how they start 0-1. That is hit into right field. That's going to get all the way to the corner. He'll to make the turn at first. He'll test that right fielder's arm again. A little bit more, just a touch more speed made that an easier play. Still a nice throw in from the right fielder. Pretty accurate. And another time where a Twins hitter able to just get on something high in the zone, slice it out into right field. I think the difference is that the ball slices into the corner rather than going a little more straight out. Otherwise, I think it's going to be just an easy single. Kendry Morales with one swing can end this game and absolutely steal a win from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. But Twins haven't been great with runners in scoring position. Oh, just kidding. Okay, well, that'll do it. That's your game. 4-3. As I believe that's Kendry Morales was the name that we saw. He gets the walk-off home run and absolutely snatches a victory away from the Los Angeles Angels. Wow. That is the biggest hit. He will throw the glove at the wall. It's okay to be a little frustrated in that situation. Kendry Morales was 2 for 2 with a home run and a double. He gets his 4th home run while McGee picks up his 3rd home run. Lance Cormier gets the win to improve to 4-2. Kevin Slowy falls to 4-7 after the loss. We'll get out of here and head to Chicago. Kendry Morales to a perfect 2 for 2. Scored twice as well. 3 RBI, 1 home run, and the double. Thankfully, we get these more advanced stats as he single-handedly tied the Angels with the 3 runs that he batted in. So would he have been responsible for all of the runs? Because he scored twice, and he knocked in a 2-run blast, but then knocked in his third RBI. So he was in some way, shape, or form responsible for all 4 of those runs. Wild. All right, let's move. Actually, here, I don't think we've caught up on scores. I apologize. White Sox over the Rays, 1-0. And then the Tigers beat the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays season is really hanging in the balance. They struggled against the Kansas City Royals in a series they had in Toronto. Couldn't really make a dent in that to try and catch up to them in the American League Central. Now they're getting beat by the Tigers. I believe they get swept in this one. Yeah, Tigers 3-0, Tigers 2-0, Tigers 3-2. So a clean, 3 out of 4. So they win the series. Not great for the Blue Jays, who have another matchup against the Kansas City Royals coming up. We watched the Padres beat the Marlins 4-2. Mets over the Reds 1-0. Royals win 4-3. And that gives them a little bit more breathing room in the American League Central. Speaking of the AL Central, the Twins over the Angels. Absolutely stealing a win there. Phillies and the Cubs coming up next for game number 3. Get things started here. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. I appreciate it. If you're enjoying the content, free, easy way to help the channel is to give the video a like. You can subscribe as well if you want to. I'll flip the thumbnail and we will get set for game number 3 while we check in on a score as the loading screen loads. 17-13, pending a confirmation of a Miami touchdown just inside the 4th quarter. 14:56 left. Welcome to Chicago. The Cubs, 30-25, taking on the Philadelphia Phillies, 32-22. We will pull up that other thumbnail. It's going to be a more interesting game than I thought it was. The Marlins are 33-22 now following the loss. So, an opportunity for the Phillies to even that division back up. Shin-Soo Choo, whose name I saw on a Hall of Fame ballot mock on the Score app today. I thought was kind of interesting. He'll be leading off. He is the right fielder for the Philadelphia Phillies. Ronnie Belliard is at second base. Justin Morneau at first. Johnny Gomes in left field. Jorge Posada behind the dish. Andres Torres in center. Brandon Inge at third. Gabe Kapler, designated hitter, and Nick Punto is the shortstop. We are ready for some National League action. Back in the National League, we had NL, AL, NL, and then NL again. So we're watching all of those Pirates Diamondbacks games. Those have been fun. Doug Davis is 1-10 with a 5.22 ERA. 21 games, 29.1 innings, 46-16. That is bad. And they have what? So he's 1-10, which is awful. They have 25 losses. Yeesh. That's too close to 50% of your losses being on one dude. Be a lefty-lefty matchup to lead things off. Here's the pitch, and we are underway. Shin-Soo Choo knocked that out to right field. So we saw a lot of aggression in the previous game from the Los Angeles Angels. Really safe play there for the Cubs. Didn't try to do that at all, or anything at all. Was willing to let that play on a hop and just say, you can have your single, but you're not going any further. That pitch well inside. Not a good start for this Cubs pitcher who already doesn't have a great record and does have a pretty large hits and walks to strikeout ratio that's like not in his favor. One pitch, one swing, one single. And then doesn't even get the zone on the next pitch. That one, a strike to even things up at 1-1. That is hit out towards left field. Runner holds up between first and second, and he'll retreat to first. So one out. Justin Morneau's batting .323, 4 home runs, 12 RBI. No stolen bases. That is upstairs for a ball. They do uphold the touchdown. 17-14, Indiana up. 1 on, 1 out, no score here in 2011. We flash you back 15 years. You know, I apologize if it's jarring going from 2026 to 2011 back to 2026. 2-0. Pitcher sets, readies and fires. That is hit into foul territory. Third baseman's going to take a look, navigates the dugout. Excuse me? Are you kidding me? Hold on. Oh, you're not even going to let me watch it the way that I want to watch it. Oh, you jerks. God, this camera work. We're going to have to be creative here. It's maybe the worst shot we've ever seen. Walkoff just put a comment in the chat the other day about like, hey, have you tried phasing through the wall? Here you go. Here's your phase through the wall. They are going to call that an out. We can't even get a look at it, I don't think. Oh, maybe. There you go. Okay, we can kind of see it. Again, we really got to work carefully with this camera. That is an out. I can't believe that is an out. Oh, that might be one of the worst outs we've seen all season. That is awful. That's awful. one. Oh my goodness. They will send the runner down to second. Throw is in plenty of time, and that will retire the side. So Philadelphia picks up a hit, gets thrown out, has maybe the worst out we've seen all season. And we will introduce you to the Cubs starting lineup. Michael Bourne going to lead things off. Jason Bourne's brother is in center field. He is the lefty for the Cubs lineup. Martin Parado in left field. Troy Tulowitzki at shortstop. Then we have a little lefty lane here. It's J.D. Drew in right field. Josh Thole. Josh Thole? Thole. He is the catcher. Derek Barton at first and Freddie Freeman, the designated hitter. His Freeman's average is like god-awful in this game. Alberto Cayespo is at third base and Ricky Weeks is at second. It's a little lefty lane. Then you have Cayespo, who's a switch hitter. So 5 straight batters will bat from the left-hand side. And Carlos Silva will have to deal with that. 4-3 with a 4.08 ERA. 10 games, 28.2 innings pitched, 24 hits. Did not catch those other numbers. It is 24, 8, and 15. So not great for him. Michael Bourne's leading things off. Batting .264 has a home run. That is fouled away. This is a good opportunity for the Cubs to try and draw themselves a little closer to the Phillies. Phillies a good opportunity to take advantage of the Marlins' loss. The pitch is in for a strike. 0-2. Here's the righty's pitch, and Bourne fouls that one away. It'll stay 0-2. That pitch inside and low. Probably ball one. Maybe a little swing happy there. That one well low for ball two. Or ball one, excuse me. 1-2. That is blocked nicely by the catcher. Evens things up at 2-2. Boy, you take that swing away on that 0-2 pitch that was way low and way inside. You're looking at a full count. But it's still a nice job to foul that pitch off. Stay alive in the at-bat. Couple of good takes. Nice foul there. Ooh, a bit of a bold take there near the knees. I'll be a little more outside than I realized. It'll be a 3-2 count, full. That is outside for a ball, so a nice at-bat there. We put him on first to lead things off, Martin Parado. That is in for a strike. Oh and 1. Nobody out with a runner on first. Righty is ready. He'll wind and fire way outside. The runner retreats to first, dives in head first. That's 1-1. And that is foul up the first base line. 1-2. That'll be rolled over. Third baseman picks it up. It's going to be a force out at second, but safe at first by about half a step. It was a tight play. I was a little surprised he went to second for the play. But then I forget that the sliding really slows everything down. So it is a smart play. Take away the lead runner and leave the double play in order. Tulowitzki with a big swing misses for a strike. Here comes the 0-1. That's going to hit Tulowitzki. That one looked like it was going to be way inside, but even then, when those pitches start coming in like that, it's hard to tell if it's going to be... Is it going to be a hit by pitch? Is it going to be the game being funky a little bit? But it hits Tulowitzki, and that puts a runner in scoring position for the Cubs in the bottom of the first. J.D. Drew steps in. That is low for a ball. Here comes the 1-0. That's outside for a ball. 2-0. No score with 2 on. That'll be a 3-0 count after that pitch misses low. And he'll get the strike at the knees. Maybe a little generous from the umpire, but does make it 3-1. See how aggressive this swing is going to be from the batter. They love 3-1 counts. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is hit. That is going to be out towards right field. The right fielder moves over, makes the catch. The runner will advance from second up to third. So it'll be runners on the corners with 2 outs. Josh Thole? Toley. Josh Toley steps in. 2 on, 2 out. No score. Here's the first pitch. Swung on, and that is hit out towards right field. I think you would have wanted to maybe see a little more patience from that at-bat because they... The pitcher fell behind 3-0 to the previous team member. Chicago, no hits in that one. A walk and a hit by pitch. Johnny Combs steps up. Pardon me. The lefty is ready. He'll wind and fire inside for a ball. 1-0. No score, just the one hit by Philadelphia, though they had a really weird out and an out on the base paths trying to steal second, so just kind of an all-over disaster for them in some respects. That is a generous strike. Low in the zone. It's like Indiana's burned 2 timeouts. Last time I looked, they had a 4th and 5. They had called a timeout. They have another 4th and 5 in the red zone. They called timeout. That is a strike on the outside edge. 9:23 left in the 4th quarter. That'll be a swing and a miss. Sets him down on strikes. This Phillies offense coming up. Jorge Posada. He'll step up. This Phillies offense, I was trying to say, is coming up empty with a good opportunity to try and get the tie back for the NL East lead with the Florida Marlins, who lost earlier today. Posada takes a strike inside, a little surprising. But the calls have been a little funky all day long. Here's the lefty's next pitch. It's inside for a ball. One and one. That is hit just over the leaping second baseman's glove. It's going to get all the way to the door in the ivy. He will make the big turn at first to second, and that is where he will stay standing. A stand-up double for the Phillies, and they are in business here in the top half of the second. That went kind of through the door a little bit. Oh, wow. Looks like they scored a touchdown. I think you really can appreciate Indiana's aggressiveness. Trying to see if they'll update how they scored. That is a looping curveball out to right center. Right fielder ready to make the play. The runner from second will advance. Nice strong throw and the relay. A little slow, but still pretty accurate. He is safe. Sorry. My bad. Mendoza rushed for 12 yards into the end zone. Puts them back up 10. A little over 9 minutes left. Brandon Inge stepping up. So let's see if they can put something on the board here. We'll take that first pitch low for a ball. 1-0. Not about swinging. They will not appeal down to first base. It'll be a ball. 2-0. Lead run 90, or the go-ahead run 90 feet away. That's a strike inside on that side, that inside edge. Pitch misses outside. Three and one. Batters love a 3-1 pitch. Here's the wind, and that is what it'll be. Past the diving shortstop. It'll be an RBI single, 2-out RBI single. So good time to get some damage for the Phillies. They put the runner in an easy position to come home there. Gabe Kapler batting .529, couple of home runs, 6 RBI and a stolen base. That is foul. Everything good, computer? Because you did the like you something unplugged. Please stop. I don't appreciate it. 0-1 after the foul ball. And that'll get up past the first baseman. It'll send the runner around second into third safely, and he'll stand up at third. So the Phillies looking for a little extra here. Nick Puto. 88 games with the Twins. Cool. Just, I guess, a fun fact for everyone. Lefty winds and fires inside for a ball. Looking for a little insurance now. As the lefty winds, that is rolled in between a couple of diving attempts to stop the ball. It wasn't going to prevent the run in all likelihood. Phillies now lead 2-0. The offense starting to come to life here in the top of the second. With 2 runs of 2-out damage. Shin Soo Choo, 1 for 1 with a single. Lefty-lefty matchup. Gets a strike at the bottom of at the knees. 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. That is going to be to the second baseman. He bobbles it. Oh no, but still gets there in time. Holy moly, if that was an error for the Cubs, that might have just undone the entire game. Instead, they're able to at least keep the damage at just 2 runs. Philadelphia picks up 4 hits. They score 2 runs. Cubs need to get something going here. This is a good time to do it. Derek Barton. They're in that little lefty lane. Actually, they're about halfway through it. So they had the walk. They had the hit by pitch. That is going to be rolled over. Second baseman shows him how it's done, scoops it cleanly, and fires to first in time for out number 1. Freddie Freeman's batting .231. That average is significantly better than the last time we saw him. We saw him at like a flat 100 and then like a .73 or something like that. So I guess it's been a little bit since we've seen him for the Cubs. That is in for a strike. As my eyes are being bothered here. I'll put the glasses back on, and I can see what's happening. The wind and the pitch. Going to be hit to the shortstop. As soon as I go, wow, what an average for him. Grounds out immediately. Almost immediately, I should say. Alberto Calespo is batting .240. 1 home run, 9 RBI. That is fouled away. And that is a strike. They're going to call that on the inside. I don't know about that. Makes it 0-2. 2 gone here in the bottom of the second. 2-0 Philly lead. One more game coming up after this. It's Arizona and Pittsburgh. So that misses low. Here comes the 1-2. It is called strike 3 right at the knees. Got a little more of the plate. Belliard, Morneau, and Gomes coming up. No hits for Chicago through 2 innings. And the Cubs defense is going to need to come up big. I think the pitcher is going to need to do a nice job here getting strike calls, keeping the defense involved and giving them easy plays to turn for outs. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is fouled away.
That's a foul ball.
That'll be hit into right field for a single, and that's how things will get started in the top half of the third. Like I said, needed to give contact that's, easy outs, routine outs for the defense, but that is not what we were talking about. Justin Morneau. He'll step in, I should say. That is swung on and missed. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It is outside for a ball. 1-1. Runner on first. They'll check on him. He is safe, as they always are. Looks like Miami did just score. Pending a confirmation, they put a runner in motion. They'll get him to second all the way around to third. That's where they will hold him, and runners on the corners with nobody gone. So about 6 minutes left. About 6.5. I'm hoping we can get a... Here's the wind and the pitch. It's outside. Nice block by the catcher. That was a good job. Nobody moves. The only movement really that's going to happen there is that the runner might go to second base, but it's irrelevant because it was blocked nicely by the catcher. Here's the lefty, and that's outside for a ball. And okay, gets a strike on the outside edge. They needed that. Lefty winds and fires, misses high for a ball. Here's the lefty's pitch. That is, oh man, that's a dangerous curveball. He's lucky that it stayed that high up in the zone. Like, it just did clip the top of the zone. It's a good take by the Philadelphia Phillies batter. It fills up the count at 3-2. But boy, if the Cubs pitcher misses that location, look out. Okay, well, he didn't really get the location on that one as that's spilled into left center field. The throw is in, but the runner is safe. Philadelphia is moving them around the bases, and they increase the lead to 3-0. .22-yard touchdown run. Cuts the lead to 3. That is skied to first base, makes the catch right along the line, and that is an out. I believe that's the first out. But if the Cubs can maybe turn 2 here, they can get out of this inning with just 1 run of damage. The thing is, they don't have a single hit, so they have to have the best inning of the entire game all at once. They have to get multiple hits and runners on base and cash them in. One and 0. Lefty winds and fires. That is skied over to first base yet again. Second time that we've seen that, and that'll be an out. Out number 2. Neither of them very good outs. Not like productive or even having the opportunity to be productive in this game. So a good job by the pitcher. That is a little more what I was talking about. Easy routine outs. Thought about it. They're going to check. He went. I thought he did. That'll be a strike 0-1. I'm a little surprised that they had to appeal down to first base, but it is what it is. Here's the lefty. Winds and fires. That is hit to the second baseman. He'll come up with it cleanly and fire it over to first in time. So Philadelphia scores 1. They pick up a couple of hits. They put another runner in scoring position, but that they get all 3 outs with a runner on third base. Weeks, Bourne, and the last guy I didn't catch, it was Prado. Letters get a little blurry there. And I don't know why he really thought about swinging at that one. That pitch was very low. Here comes the 1-0. It looks like his motion is like a little quick. It almost looks like it's in fast forward. Very odd. Here comes the 2-0. Pitcher nods in approval. And he misses wide. Three and 0. That is low for a ball. Ball 4. Okay. Thanks for disappearing there, stats channel. Big swing and a miss there. Cubs have only had base runners via walks and hit by pitches. Still no hits. 0-1. Here's the line. That's going to be hit. Oh, the third baseman just didn't try to make a play on the ball at all. It's going to send the lead runner all the way around to third. The throw is in, but late, safe. Okay. By the way, we got a walk-off in the last game. We've had quite a few of those over the last several days. I think it's number 7 in the last, 11 games or something like that. It is wild. 10 games. 7 and 10, I think. They'll check on the runner at first. It's safe. I pulled my hands back because I thought maybe they were going to miss the pitch or miss the first baseman. That's been a little bit more common. Those animations looking just a little bit more sporadic. Just a little... sporadic's not the right word, but just... That'll be rolled to first base, but he can't get it cleanly. He'll step on the bag. Trade 1 out for 1 run. Tulowitzki is the tying run. Chicago, by the way, finally picks up their first hit, and it's basically just because the third baseman didn't get in the way. So Tulowitzki steps up. He's looking at a 1-0 count. Here comes the pitch. That was kind of inside, like scarily inside. Two and 0, winds and fires. Gets the strike call. Two and 1 now to Tulowitzki. Gets the strike call. I don't know about that one. That looked a little low, if we're being honest. I'll take a look at the replay here. That's foul up the first base line. Looked a little low, but the zones have been kind of funky. 2 and 2. I'll put a runner in motion to third. He'll roll that to the shortstop. He'll pick it up and fire in time for out number 2. So the runner advances. It's still the tying run here at the plate. J.D. Drew 0 for 1, 329 average. That is low for ball 1. I wonder if that was a hit and run or what they were trying to do. It is very weird because it just doesn't Makes sense. Well, the game sometimes does get like a little weird. That run doesn't really matter. It's not the tying run. It's not the go-ahead run. I think you can let it go. You don't have to get quite that aggressive. That is sliced foul. Indiana's got to be feeling it now. 1st and 10. Miami has all 3 timeouts. They do just hit the 2-minute warning. It's 1st and 10 on the Miami 23, Indiana. Indiana gets one more first down. They should be able to run the clock out. Which should be an incredible, I mean, like, just incredible. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is skied in the air. The runner will cross home plate, but it won't matter because it'll drop into the third baseman's glove for out number 3. That will do it. Philadelphia gets the win in Chicago. 3-0. Or 3-1, excuse me. Double, excuse me. Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. And that'll do it. Cubs kind of struggled to get key outs when they needed them. Philadelphia did a good enough job picking up some runs. The Cubs threatened late, but just couldn't come up with the big swing when they needed it. I believe they only had the 1 hit in the game. That'll be Carlos Silva, your player of the game. 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. He is a Cubs pitcher for the Phillies. Let's see, 8 hits. Yeah, just the 1 for Chicago. Sylvia improves to 5-3, and Doug Davis falls to 1-11. And that is just not good. Not good. You throw up a starter and you just go, yeah, you're going to lose 10 or 11 out of 12 times. That's bad. See if we're stuck in that TV timeout still. We are. We are heading to the desert. We're heading back to Arizona. Game number 3 of 4 for the Pirates and the Diamondbacks. We're trying to pick some more interesting games. There's some teams are playing other teams that are kind of like, it's not great. Let's get caught up on some score. Just kidding. We had Angels Twins, and we will head down. Pirates Diamondbacks, game 3 of this set. It's been a fun back and forth series. Diamondbacks walked off in the first game. The Pirates struck back, picked up the win in the second game. Let's see what game number 3 has. And they do have a 4th game tomorrow as well. So we might actually just end up watching that whole series, because I'm having a good time with it. And it's competitive. It's competitive teams. NL Central leading Pittsburgh Pirates, who are 33-22. Well, we'll see that in a minute. The Cubs had a chance to try and pick up a win to close that gap a little bit. Instead, Philadelphia does a good job to take advantage of that Marlins loss and tie up the NL East. Pittsburgh, like I said, 33-22. The Diamondbacks, 30-26. So a kind of a good opportunity for both teams here. Diamondbacks, I think, need this game a little bit more, and Pittsburgh can survive a loss because the Cubs lost as well. Nick Markakis in right field leads things off for Pittsburgh. Nick Johnson at first base. Robinson Cano at second. Jose Bautista at third. Seth Smith, the designated hitter. Alfonso Soriano in left field. Soriano in left. Miguel Olivo is behind the dish. Crispy Young, Crispy Quick in center field. And Ryan Terriot is the shortstop. So, 2nd down and 1. Indiana in the red zone. Miami calls a timeout. I think you can run a 2nd and 1 play that maybe doesn't get a first down. But you also have another opportunity for a first down because it wouldn't be 1st and goal. Jeremy Bonderman's 5-6 with a 5.06 ERA. 11 games, 32 innings pitched, 43, 12, and 16 hits, walks, and strikeouts. So that's 55 hits and walks to not a lot of strikeouts. Yikes. There's your Arizona Diamondbacks defense. I mean, I guess just get the first downs that you need. Don't worry about getting too cute. That's not the problem I have at all with that is a strike. We're underway here in the ketchup and mustard game, the Wolverine and Deadpool game, however you want to phrase it. It's a strike 2 call. Uh-oh. Penalty on Indiana, 2nd and 10 now. Swung on and missed. 2nd and 6, excuse me. They're only up 3, so you gotta... Miami scored more points in the fourth quarter than they have in the entire game. 14. Both quarterbacks are 16 for 27, which is kind of wild. And Beck has 208 yards to Mendoza's 186. They're down in 5. Miami calls a timeout. They'll have 1 left. So if Indiana can convert a 3rd and 5, they will be the national champions. Might be 2 down territory. Bobbled at second. It's not going to be in time. The throw late and the runner is safe. So an error will be charged to the second baseman. Not the start you're looking for if you're an Arizona Diamondbacks fan or hoping that they might make the playoffs. Robinson Cano with his .433 average, 5 home runs, 22 RBIs. He'll step up to the plate. One out. Here in the top of the first, Cano takes a big swing and drives it foul. And that is in for a strike. Here comes the 0-2. That is low for a ball. Makes it 1-2. Good eye by Cano. Here comes the 1-2. It is hit foul. Third base side. So it's 4th down and 3. Miami's out of timeouts. Do you take the points? Do you try to just... Ooh, it's going to be past the diving third baseman. He'll hit the second base bag and turn around. Not nearly deep enough into left field to try and push it. And it's a good throw in from the left fielder. Jose Batista. For 329 average. Still just 1 out. Miami's out of timeouts. There's 1:42 to go. Indiana kicks a field goal to force a touchdown to win it. Here's the wind and the pitch. In at the knees for a strike. I mean, that's... Take the points. Force them to go all the way instead of just partially down the field. 1-1. Batista slices that one foul.
That ball's foul.
Here comes the 1-2. Low for a ball. Low and outside for a ball. Batista with a nice long at-bat here. Looking at a full count. Here comes the payoff pitch. That will be right to the second baseman. Steps on the bag at second, throws to first in time, makes up for the error. And Pittsburgh is held scoreless, despite not only the error, but the one hit that they had as well. Let's get you set with that Arizona Diamondbacks lineup. We're going to know it by heart by the time we're done with these games. David DeJesus is in right field. He'll lead things off. Chipper Jones at third. Joey Votto at first. Jason Bay in left. Curtis Granderson's in center. Matt Wieters is the catcher. Brian Pena, the designated hitter. Freddie Sanchez at second. Jamie Carroll is the shortstop. So it's the kickoff. Miami penalty accepted at the 25. I don't think I'm going to be able to... We could try the TV pass. Matt Latos, 7-4 with a 1.99 ERA. 11 games, 31.2 innings pitched, 27, 12, and 32 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Is it on ABC? No. It's just ESPN. Okay. I'd imagine that it's full. Yeah. Maximum capacity. That's kind of what I figured it would be. It's a big game. You're going to get into those. You got to get in early. I cannot believe they called that pitch a strike. That looked well low. Latos gets a beneficial call, and he's off to a good start. 0-1 to the Diamondbacks. DeJesus. They have a little bit more of a flow when they say it. I say it a little too choppily. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's low for a ball. Here comes the 1-2. Low. 2-2. Latos winds and fires. Hit up the third baseline. Foul. Why am I not getting any sort of update on what the plays are? That'll be popped into right field. Right fielder comes in, waits for it, and it drops into the glove for the out. Just keep saying Miami penalty accepted at the 20. But they're out to the Miami 46 with 1:22 to go. I guess we'll just kind of let that roll then. It's not updating very well. Big swing and a miss on that pitch that was high and outside of the zone. Strike one. He said. Thank God it was just strike one. One gone here, bottom first. Let's get locked in. Let's focus here on the baseball. That's what we're here for, not for me refreshing the score app going, I wonder if I can catch up on this. The 0-2 pitch swung on the outside and missed. It'll be strike three for Chipper Jones. And that is out number 2. From our angle, it looked like it was outside of the zone. But they get him swinging, and that's all that matters. That is inside for a ball. No score here. Bottom first, 2 gone for Arizona. Game 4 of 4. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. I appreciate it. Here's the wind and the pitch, fouled away. That'll make it 1-1. And that'll be hit into the gap. No, I thought the second baseman was going to have it. Instead, it's going to be a single into right field. I thought it would split the gap, and then the second baseman did a nice job with covering ground to try and get that ball, but just kind of walked right over the top of it. So one runner, or a runner on first with 2 outs here. A turnover. Oh my goodness. A turnover? Is that how they're going to get it? Is that how they're going to get it? That is punched up the third baseline, but foul. That is going to be popped to the first base side. First baseman will patiently wait for it to drop into his glove as he waves off the no one around him. Catch is made, and that will do it. 1 hit for each side through the first inning. Arizona has committed an error, but no score. Smith, Soriano, and Olivo coming up. That is in for a strike. I'm trying to see if anybody's put it. I haven't updated in 21 minutes. Come on. You gotta be on this. That is hit out towards left field. Left fielder makes a nice run at the ball and grabs it for the out. I mean, it's not quite... I mean, it should be over. Nobody has any timeouts. Under 40 seconds. Alfonso Soriano batting .371. God, everything is just like not... But they're also on the IU2. Soriano. So what did... God, it'd be so cool to, like, see what happened. That is fouled away. Somebody on top of this? Anybody on top of this? Oh, a Goldie fight. That's exciting. Chant overrated. Here comes the 2-1. That is hit well, but not well enough. Better sound off the bat than I thought it would be. Into center field for the out. Oh my goodness. Two outs here in the top of the second. Miguel Olivo up to bat, takes a ball low. Here comes the 1-0 with 2 outs. That is hit right to the third baseman. Picks it on a hop and throws the first in time across the diamond for the out. That'll retire the first half of, or the top half of the second. That is low for a ball. Well, Indiana is officially the national champions. Managed to upload that, but not turnover or anything. Okay. Social media, you're failing me at every... That is splashed into right center field. God, all I'm trying to do is, like, look at the... Okay, cool. I guess we just skipped, like, the last part of the... Idiots. I mean, I know they have all those graphics and stuff ready, just in case. But... Not just in case, but, like, for when they win, so they could be, like, right on top of it. But also, like, you're broadcasting the game. Put the footage up. God, idiots. All right. There is somebody out here in the bottom of the second, a runner on second. Arizona looking for the lead late in this one against Pittsburgh. Series that's gone back and forth. Arizona won on a walk-off. Pittsburgh won yesterday's game. And now another opportunity for Arizona to pick up a win. Looking to track down... Well, the Pirates are looking to hold on to the lead in the NL Central. The Diamondbacks, are looking to track down the Rockies in the NL West. We'll get you caught up on scores from around the league, and we will say goodbye to college football as well. See you later. See you in August. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's going to be hit towards the third baseman. He'll pick it up cleanly, fire over to first in time for the out. And as always, we'll have 4 more games of action tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time here on the channel. Brian Pena stepping up, working with a runner in scoring position, just 1 out. That is inside. That is a strike on the inside edge. That is hit well out to left field or right field. That'll get down off the fence, and that will score a run. It'll be an RBI double for the Diamondbacks, who take a 1-0 lead. So 1-0 with 1 gone, and that pitch misses high for a ball. Swung on and missed. One and one. That'll be hit past or to the shortstop. In time for the out, just barely. He needed just a half step extra speed there, the runner did. Did a good job to try to hustle up that first base line, but just couldn't make it. Jamie Carroll, he has a 246 average. He does at least advance the runner to third, so the Diamondbacks can try and pick up an insurance run here in the late stages of this game. A little 2-out damage and a little 2-out insurance can go a long way as we head to the top of the third. But we'll see what happens as the first pitch is inside for a ball. 1-0. Here's the wind and the pitch. Rolled foul. And a swing and a miss. Pitch low and outside. Movement toward the outside part of the zone. 1-2. Runner on third. 2 gone. And it's off the end of the bat, foul. That is outside for a ball. Two and two. Pitcher winds, fires, hit foul, third base. The runner occupying third base hustled down the line, but it is out of play. Pitcher readies and sets. He'll fire. Foul. Up the first base line. Having trouble getting this batter out. The batter having trouble getting a pitch to stay in the field of play. Another 2-2 on the way. And that's a bold take low with how this game has been all day long. That is a very bold take. The righty. That is drifting. Right fielder did not take a very good route to that ball. There might have been enough air under it to get there. It was probably going to be a little close. Swung on and missed. That'll retire the side. We'll head to the top of the third. It'll be 1-0. Arizona. Young, Terriot, and Markakis coming up for Pittsburgh. I thought maybe he would have a shot at it with just how much air was under the ball, and it was admittedly drifting away from him in foul territory, but he didn't take a good route to even give himself an opportunity to get the out. Didn't matter because it was just one extra pitch. Able to kind of pull that string on a slider outside, and bing bang boom, out number 3. That is swung on and foul. Fouled away. 0-1. Arizona leads 1-0, looking for 3 outs to get a victory. So 4 games set here between the Diamondbacks and the Pirates. We've watched the first 2. We'll probably watch the one tomorrow just for fun, because it's been a good series. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is low for a ball. Two and 1. Pitcher readies. He'll wind and fire. Big swing and a miss there from Young, crispy quick. Yeah, maybe. All right. 2 and 2. That is upstairs. Thought that might have been right at the letters, but they'll call it a ball. It's a full count. Here comes a payoff pitch. Righty's ready. Here's the pitch. It is foul up the first base line. Payoff pitch coming right back up. Payoff pitch number 2, that is. That's inside for a ball. So a nice long at-bat there ends up in a walk. Crispy Young, crispy quick will take his place at first base. The go-ahead run will step up. And a team that we've seen score 14 runs, just looking for 2 to swing things in their favor. Diamondbacks looking for 2 to erase anybody on the bases and really put this Pittsburgh team in a bind. As in 2, a double play. Here's the wind, and the first pitch is low for a ball. 1-0. That's a good take by Terriot. You like seeing that just because we've seen this pitcher not necessarily have the greatest command at times, and that last at-bat's a great example of that. We saw that earlier today where one of the batters had a really long at-bat, and then the next guy just kind of went up first pitch swinging. That's going to drop They will hustle to third. Will the throw be in time? They're going to call him out. They get the throw out at third. Oh, too aggressive on the base running. So instead of a 1-pitch, 1 swing, 1 out, it's a 2-pitch, 1 swing. A single, but an out on the base paths. Wow. So the double play in order, and they can end the game with it. Nick Markakis is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And as I'm trying to compliment and talk about why it's important that he took that pitch, he just kind of felt like he swung wildly at that next one, and it was... Oh, that's going to put him... What is happening? That is the most bizarre double play. Wow. That was caught on the fly. And they double him up at first, and just like that, the Pittsburgh Pirates are done. It's a 1-0 win for the Arizona Diamondbacks. What a funky way to end it. For a game that does not pull off double plays very frequently, for us to get that double play is pretty wild. Pirates will try to get a win tomorrow. But Jeremy Bonderman is your player of the game. 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 strikeout. He improves to 6-6. Matt Latos falls to 5-5. Arizona scores the 1 run, no save opportunity, no home runs in the game. And that'll do it. Diamondbacks gifted the Pirates an error. The Pirates picked up a couple of hits, but some funky base running. I mean, what if he... Could they have gotten a triple play? That would have been wild. If we saw a triple play in this game, my head might have exploded. That will do it. Let's go ahead and sim to date. Oh, the Mariners pick up a 5-0 win over the Yankees. Spoiler alert, as we will catch up on some scores where we leave off. Phillies Cubs, I believe, is where we were. Yes. The Dodgers beat the Brewers 2-1. The Nationals over the Rockies 2-0. So that's a big loss for the Rockies and for the Diamondbacks, who also won today. The Giants over the Braves 3-2. Rangers over the Red Sox 4-0. Cardinals over the Astros 3-1. We watched the Diamondbacks beat the Pirates 1-0. And the Rockies are 32-25. The Diamondbacks 31-26. So just one game back. Athletics 4-0 winners over the Orioles. And the Yankees pick up a big 5-run win against the Yankees to have a half-game lead over the Athletics in the American League West. That'll do it. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed. Happy Monday. I know it's not the most fun day of the week, but let's save this in save slot 8, and we'll get the heck on out of here. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. Remember to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. Subscribe if you'd like more. Ring the bell to be notified when I post new videos. I appreciate you hanging out. And we'll see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific time, for more baseball here inside MLB 11, the show on the PlayStation 2. Good night, good sports, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Save, please. Save? Save. Oh, God. Oh, God. Thank you.